welcome back to ESPR Boxing. Delighted as always to be joined by Jordan Dujon, who fights Harry Scarf next Friday at York Hall for the WBO European Super Welterweight title. Jordan, thanks for your time as always. Really appreciate it. 1 week out from fight night. How are things with you?
Yeah, good mate. Really enjoying this camp. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the fight now.
Yeah, good stuff. Want to just touch on a couple of things, but felt like it was a really big year for you last year. Won your
Mhm.
first professional title, 3 fights, 3 wins. I know you're probably focused on this now, but how do you reflect on 2022?
Yeah, I think last year every fight was a stepping stone, which led me to my title fight. I think they all had to go in the exact order that they happened. But yeah, they helped me to get that belt last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very good year for yourself. Right then, Harry Scarf, obviously former opponent of Anthony Fowler, former opponent of Troy Williamson. Um, been pro a bit longer than you, has had a couple more fights than yourself. How do you assess him as a fighter?
Yeah, he's just quite awkward. He's got obviously the nickname Horrible Harry Scar. Listen, he's a good boxer. He's won an English title, two weight divisions, super welterweight and welterweight. Yeah, it's going to be a good fight, mate. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. How much of a step up is this for you? You know, you kind of beat Jack Martin in your last fight. He's just won the Southern Area title, but yeah, for yourself, how much is a step up of this compared to your previous opponents?
I think it's difficult to tell. I think there's a few opponents that I fought that will probably once they get to that amount of fights, they'll probably be on the same sort of level. Um, but yeah, definitely on paper, it's my hardest fight to date. Um, and yeah, I'm just buzzing for it, mate.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
considered the underdog in this fight again, which I have been pretty much my last 4 or 5 fights now.
mhm.
Yeah, I'm just looking to just prove people wrong once again.
Yeah. I meant to ask you that. Have you come across Harry in the past? Have you sparred him? Have you been to any of his fights? Have you seen any of his fights on TV when he's been on those platforms before?
Yeah, no, I've never met him, never sparred him. I've seen his fight against Troy Williamson in lockdown. Um, I also see when he fought is it Green? Lewis Green?
Mm.
Lewis Green, yeah, yeah. I've seen them 2 fights, yeah.
What did you, well, like, were you impressed, or were you when you were watching those fights, were you thinking about possibly fighting him in the future at all?
Well, no, no, because the last fight I see of him, that would have been Lewis Green. But I think was that a welterweight? Was that a welterweight?
Believe so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it might have been welterweight. Yeah, so obviously he seems to be jumping between the two weights at the minute.
Mm.
Yeah, I think in boxing I just got to keep an open mind because at any point anyone in the division could be your next opponent.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, how I made of the Troy Williamson fight. He done well in that fight. I think he was unlucky not to get the decision in that fight. It was one of them close 50-50 fights. Um, the Lewis Green one, he literally just boxed his head off. But yeah, he obviously shows that he's at the highest level. So
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Want to talk about venue now. I know this fight was originally supposed to be in, I think it was Leicester,
yeah.
and now it's been moved to York Hall. First question is, can you just explain to us how that what happened there? Why is it no longer happening in Leicester?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure. I think the whole show in Leicester got pulled off for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
But yeah, I literally got a notice 2 weeks ago. Just to say that yeah, the fight's gonna be moved to York Hall, and it's gonna be a week later than what was initially scheduled.
Yeah, of course. And the last time we spoke, you made a point to me of saying that you've had most of your pro fights at York Hall. You're actually undefeated there. It's your
Mm.
house, it's your venue. I know a ring's a ring, but do you feel like that does give you an advantage? You've never lost at this place. I know Harry's from Derby. You know, he's kind of had some fights in London, had some fights in the Midlands, but um, just does do you feel like that gives you an advantage?
Um, for me, I don't think it does. To me, a ring's a ring. Whether my fans are there or up in Derby or in Leicester, it makes no difference because as soon as I'm in that ring, I sort of block everything out anyway. So whether it's his fans, my fans, whoever, whichever fans are screaming, my focus is purely on the guy in the opposite corner.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just a couple more questions from Jordan. I know kind of it's not too long till the fight now. I know this fight's obviously going to be on this kind of it's part of a TV schedule.
Mm.
Just want to ask, like, kind of how do you feel about the differences there? I know when you've kind of been on Goodwin shows in the past at York Hall, it's very kind of it's very free flowing. There's rarely a break between each fight from what I gather when I've been to shows there. Whereas I feel like with TV, sometimes if there's an early stoppage, there can be a long break. You can maybe some fighters get mucked about with when their ring walk time is going to be. I don't really know, but just the question is, how do you feel about being on that kind of TV schedule compared to being on kind of a non-televised show at York Hall?
Yeah, I think this is going to be my first live TV event. So I boxed on a ESPN before, a few maybe a year or so ago. But that was very much on the button. Like I knew exactly what time I was walking out. Um, this one, you know what it is for me, mate. It makes no difference because with the amateurs, there's literally no notice before you're going out. Yeah, to me, it makes no difference.
Yeah, yeah, is what it is. Cool. I think this might be the final question from me, Jordan, in case like something else comes in my mind. But where does this is obviously for like WBO European Super Welterweight title. Where does the what position does that put the winner in, would you say? Do you think it kind of puts them in a position to try and get kind of a world ranking, just put them in a position to kind of fight for the British title? Where does this leave the winner, would you say?
Um, well, I mean, it's straight away it will give you a world ranking. I think it's top 15, I believe. Um, as far as the British title, I'm not sure how that would work. Especially with my stablemate at the minute, Sam Gilly, he's got the English title. Um, so I believe he's probably more likely to get a mandatory for that British. Obviously, I'm not going to fight Sam.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot more European belts out there for me to go and get. Obviously, you've got the WBC, IBF, IBO. Um, Obviously, I would have got the WBA by then. But yeah, I think it just sets up, raises the person's platform, and gives them opportunities to get onto the bigger shows and the big and being involved in the biggest fights.
Yeah, definitely. One person that is still in your weight category is Carl Fail. I know kind of he's the only guy who's beat you as a pro. Is that a fight that's on your mind now? He's obviously kind of he's still undefeated. He's had obviously I think he's 8-0 now. Is that just has that gone through your mind at all recently?
Yeah, yeah, of course. And I think of his last fight, he said that he wants his opportunity because the guy that he beat, he he's got a title shot. So obviously, Carl Fowler's looking to get his title. So if I've got my belt, he's welcome to come and get it because I'd welcome the rematch all day long.
Yeah. I know you're not really I've known you for a little while now, Jordan. I've always thought you're not really into trash talk or calling anyone out. That's always the impression I've got. But
Yeah.
when I was doing my research into this interview, of course, looked at his, and he's supposed to be kind of quite the big prospect, Team GB. Do you think it's fair to say that his career as a pro hasn't gone the way it maybe should have gone since he faced you? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. In my opinion of his career so far, yeah, being that Team GB prospect, you would have thought he would be fast tracked. I mean, he's fought a lot, well, pretty much all journeymen since he's fought me. Um, but yeah, I would have thought he would have been involved in some bigger fights, more like competitive fights.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And as I said, I know you're not into trash talk, so I'm not going to push my luck too much. But final question from me, Jordan. How do you beat Harry Scarf next Friday night? What happens?
You know what, mate? Whether I land one on the chin or to his body, literally, no matter what happens, I'll get the job done and I'll walk away the winner of that fight.
Great, Jordan. Thanks as always. Really appreciate your time. Really looking forward to this fight. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've seen you in the ring, so really looking forward to it. So yeah, gonna leave it there. But yeah, all the best for Friday night. Yeah, really wish you the best of luck. Okay.
Thank you, Elliot. Take care, mate.
Cheers, Jordan. Thanks.